So very good morning to all. In the last classes we discussed the basic structure of flower and the different parts of the flower, and each part we discussed the different types, different occurrence of the sepals, petals, stamens, gynoecium, and also we discussed its union. And about how to draw floral diagram, how to draw write floral formula, whatever related to flowers we discussed. Okay, now today we are going to discuss the occurrence of group of flowers, what you call when flowers occur in clusters. That is the part known as inflorescence. Understood? Okay, so let us study what is an inflorescence, what are the different types, etc. Okay. So flowers born in singly or in clusters. When you look at the shoe flower, hibiscus, how it occur? It usually occur as singly, single flower. Okay. So that flower you can call it as solitary flowers. Okay. So but when you look at when you just look at the plant, our common and national, Kerala's flower, Kanikonna, Cassia fistula, how it occur? It occur in clusters, long drooping clusters. Okay, so when you look at banana flower, cluster of flowers you can see. Okay, so when you look at crotalaria, you can see cluster of flower. When you look at usually the jasmine, they also occur 2 or 3 in groups. So this type of occurrence is known as what? Inflorescence. Clear? Okay. So the inflorescence is the flowers occur in clusters. Clear? Okay. So what, based on the location, inflorescence may be classified into 3 types. What are they? Terminal inflorescence. So inflorescence occur at the tip of the branches. Then intercalary inflorescence. Inflorescence occur at the middle portions, in between axis, nodes, etc. Then at axillary, axil of leaf, axil of stem, etc. Axillary inflorescence. Clear? So terminal, intercalary and axillary, that is a position of inflorescence. Flowers also occur like this, you know that. Now, the axis of an inflorescence is called a peduncle. You already studied what is a pedicel. Pedicel is the stalk of the flower. That is known as what? Pedicel. Okay. So, the cluster of flowers at the base of it having a stalk, an axis, that is known as what? Peduncle. Okay. So, now based on the arrangement, structure and organization of flower in the axis, you can have different types of inflorescence. So, there is an axis on which flowers are arranged. It can be of different way of arrangement. So, when you look at Cassia fistula, there is a pattern is there. So, when you look at the jasmine flowers, there is a particular pattern is there. Okay. So, based on that, that is mainly based on the flower arrangement in the axis. So, it may be of different types. There are mainly 4 types of inflorescence. What are they? Racemose inflorescence, cymose inflorescence, mixed type of inflorescence, and special types of inflorescence. Okay, racemose, cymose, mixed type and special type of inflorescence. Okay. So first one is racemose. What is the peculiarity here is, inflorescence axis show unlimited growth, means axis of the inflorescence will grow continuously. Okay. So what happens? Flowers arranged in an acropetal succession, means in the axis, flowers at the basal part is the older one, matured one. Okay. Flower at the tip is younger one, usually in bud condition. That is known as what? The acropetal succession. So, younger flowers at the tip, older flower at the base of the inflorescence axis. Understood? Then order of the opening is, it's also known as centripetal. From periphery towards the center. When some flowers occur in like a disc, so outer flowers will open first, central flowers open last. That's known as centripetal opening of flowers. So acropetal succession, younger flower at the top, older flower at the base. Centripetal opening. That's known as what? Racemose inflorescence. Simple example is crotalaria. Okay, look. So there are different classes coming under racemose inflorescence. So based on the axis, its arrangement, different classes are there. First one is main axis elongated one, then main axis shortened one, main axis flattened one. So what are the three categories? Main axis elongated, main axis shortened, and main axis flattened. So these are the three groups coming under racemose inflorescence. Understood? Okay. Now main axis elongated. What are the different cases coming under first category of racemose, that is main axis elongated? Okay. So there are two types of flowers arranged in the axis. One is flower with the stalk. The stalk of the flower is pedicel. So flower with the pedicel, pedicellate. Flower without stalk, that is sessile. Okay. So main axis elongated having sessile flowers and as well as pedicellate flower. Okay. So its classification is like this. First one is simple raceme. Simple raceme is with numerous pedicellate flowers in acropetal succession. Okay. So flower arises in bract, that's our ordinary feature. So a simple example is crotalaria, yellow colored flower that we usually used in our Onam Pookalam. Okay. So what is here? Flowers in acropetal succession, but all flowers are pedicellate. Basal having older flower, upper side having younger flower. Then second type is compound raceme or panicle. What is that? The inflorescence axis is branched, but flower arranged in acropetal succession. So number of simple racemes in branches. So many branches, inflorescence axis having many branches, each branch is a simple raceme. Understood? Example is mangifera, our mango. Okay, you can see the pictures also. Next is spike. What is spike? Flowers are sessile. What is simple raceme and panicle? Flowers are pedicellate. Clear? In spike, flowers are sessile, arranged in acropetal order. Achiranthus, Chiranthus kadaladi and Piper longum, our tippali. Then chira, amaranthus, having this type. So flowers are in sessile flowers. That is only the difference. But basal flowers are matured one, upper flowers are younger one, but they are sessile. That's the difference from simple raceme. Okay. Now what is compound spike? Inflorescence axis is branched. So number of spike in branches. Each branch is known as what? Spikelets. Each branch is known as spikelet. So this is having some peculiar feature, this compound spike or spikelet. This usually occur in Poaceae family or grass family. Our rice, wheat, everything inflorescence is like this. So difference, the special features are each inflorescence show bract at its base. The bracts are known as glooms. Clear? Then each inflorescence axis has the bract called glooms. Then each flower has a bract called lemma. Okay. Each flower has a bract lemma, inflorescence has a bract gloom. Now in the bract or lemma there is another bracteole, that is called pallia, in which flowers are arranged. Okay. So basal bract of inflorescence glooms, flowers bract lemma, then above that bracteole pallia, then in that flower arises. Okay. Then there is also some more name, the perianth, no differentiation to sepal and petal, that is known as lodicules. Understood? Okay. So compound spike is actually what? Number of spikes. Okay. Branched inflorescence axis. Each branch having that is known as spikelet. Okay, that is a compound spike. Each branch is spikelet. See, so this is a solitary flower. Flower solitary, singly occurring. So this is the sessile flowers. This is the sessile flowers. See, these are all sessile flowers. See, this is the flower in pedicel. This is the typical example for racemose inflorescence. See how it is arranged. This is an inflorescence. Okay, the axis, the stalk. This is the peduncle. See, larger flowers at the base. See, these are the small buds at the tip. This is the acropetal succession. This is a simple raceme. Okay, so see, this is the branched raceme. How it is branched raceme? This is a raceme. This is a raceme. So this is an axis inflorescence. So number of racemes in branches. That is branched raceme or called panicle. See, this is solitary. Then how diagrammatically it represents. This is the spike, sessile flowers in acropetal succession. Sessile flower means no stalk. This is raceme, pedicellate flowers. This is branched raceme, or you can call it as panicle. Understood? Okay. Now, fifth one is spadix. What is a peculiar feature is, here the inflorescence axis is swollen and fleshy. Okay. So, here we are discussing the nature of the axis, that is swollen and fleshy. Okay. Entire inflorescence. So, there is an axis that is swollen and fleshy. This entire inflorescence is covered by a structure that is known as a bract called spathe. Okay. So, in the axis, basal flowers are female flowers. Okay. Then upper flowers are sterile, means male, no female. Okay, neutral flowers, and also male flowers. So, female flower, tip male flower, in between sterile flowers. Okay. Insert the tip of the extreme tip having no flowers. Example is colocasia, you know, chamber, chena, having this type of inflorescence. You know about anthurium plant. Anthurium having the colored portion is actually its bract, colored bract. That is a bract. So that bract is called a spathe. So when in bud condition, what is the colored portion actually wraps the central axis. So the what is the raised structure? Actually that is the inflorescence. Clear? So it having basal flowers, then middle flowers, upper flowers, and extreme tip having no flower. That's known as what? Spadix. Okay. Then compound spadix is what? Branched sessile flowers, but large boat-shaped bract, spathe covers. Okay. Many such branched sessile flowers. You know cocos, coconut flower, you know. That is example. See here, this is the example for spadix. This central portion, this is the actual inflorescence. What is this? This is the spathe that covers is known as spathe. Okay. So, at its base female flower, then here male flower, here neutral flower. This is free. This is the compound spadix of coconut. Understood? So, compound spadix of coconut. This is the spadix of simple colocasia, and also you can observe in anthurium also. This we already discussed. Clear? So, I hope you understood well. Now, main axis is shortened. So, what we discussed, main axis elongated, simple raceme, branched raceme or panicle, spike, compound spike, then spadix. That is the first. Main axis elongated. Clear? Okay. Hope clear. So, what is the typical feature of racemose? Axis continues to grow. Unlimited growth axis. Basal flowers are larger one. Upper flowers are younger one. Flowers arranged in acropetal succession. Flower open in centripetal way. Three groups: main axis elongated, main axis shortened, main axis flattened. Under main axis elongated, we discussed simple raceme, compound raceme or panicle, spike, compound spike, then spadix. Clear? Okay. Now second part, main axis shortened. Its first category is corymb. What is that? Corymb. Okay. So pedicels of the flowers are having different length. What is the pedicel? Stalk of a flower. Okay. So inflorescence axis is there, then flowers having pedicel is there, pedicellate flower. But pedicels having different length. That is a feature. So what happened? Starting from here, this is one pedicel, this is second pedicel, this is third pedicel, fourth. So different length. So once it reached here, all flowers having same line. Okay. So that is a feature. So flowers appear at the same level at the top. So lower flowers having long pedicel, upper flowers having short pedicel. So finally everything in same line. That is corymb. Then second one is umbel. Umbel means main axis is simple or branched. Both type are there. The axis growth suddenly stops. What happens? A whorl of bract arises at the tip of inflorescence. The bract group is known as involucre of bracts. Okay. So flowers pedicels are very short and the axis growth is also suppressed. Okay. Flowers in the same level, short. You know the flowers of onion. When you buy the onion stem from the market for curry, we are buying from market, no? So in that you can see the flowers at its tip, like appear like sun, like with this. So that is spikes like appearance. That is known as what? Umbel inflorescence, where main axis is shortened. Okay, now see the picture. This is the corymb. See, this is the main axis. This is the lower flower. Lower flower having long pedicel. This is the older flowers. Then just above somewhat smaller size than this pedicel. So size of the pedicel reduces when you go up. Upper side young flowers. So what happened? Finally all flower in the same. So you know this flower. This is usually called a Caesalpinia, Rajamalli in our area. Okay. Used in puja purposes. Then compound umbel. What is compound umbel? Main axis produces involucre of bract and having number of branches. Branches are called rays. Each branch again produces bract. So what you know umbel? Umbel is axis with a shortened axis with a number of small pedicellate flowers. Everything look like a globose structure like this with a number of pedicels. But like many such branches with a umbel is known as what? Compound umbel. Okay. Example is carrot flower. No. Then next category. So what we studied in the second category, main axis shortened, corymb and umbel. Umbel is simple umbel and compound umbel. Two types. Okay. Now main axis flattened. What is this? Main axis is flattened structures like cup-like or somewhat. One important inflorescence is head or capitula. Okay, what is head? Main axis flattened. Flattened main axis is called thalamus. It is function as a thalamus, look like a thalamus. Okay, so it bear small flowers. Flowers are called florets. Small flowers in acropetal order. And large number of bracts also at its base, that is known as involucre of bract. And bracts are green in color. Okay. So there are two types of flowers in a head. One is disc floret, another one is ray floret. What are the two types of flowers in a head? Tubular or disc floret, ligulate or ray floret. Two types of flowers, tubular or disc floret, ligulate or ray floret. So one flower seen at the center of the disc, other flowers at the periphery of the disc. So we will clearly understood axis is actually flattened like a thalamus like this. Okay, then there is central flowers and peripheral flowers. See, this is the inflorescence. So you know the flowers of sunflower, marigold, chendumaliga. When you look at Jamanti, etc., what is happening here? What is the condition? That's like a globose. Surrounding you can have petals. At the center there is no petal. But what's in your mind? What is present at the center is it's a stamen. That's not stamens. That is the flowers. And peripheral one is also flowers. So peripheral colored petals are there. That is the ray floret. And central flowers are known as tubular floret. That is a disc floret. Ray floret and a disc floret. So small flowers are known as floret. See, this is a cross section. This is the thalamus, flattened axis. This is a flattened axis. Peripheral side having what? Ray floret. Central side having the disc floret. Understood? So this is an example umbel that we already discussed. This is the umbel. Main axis is shortened and all pedicellate flower appear like this umbel. This is a compound umbel. This is simple umbel. Many simple umbels, that's compound umbel. This is a head. Okay. So you just look at your cosmos flowers, zinnia flowers, dahlia, everything you look at. What is the condition? Periphery you can have. When you have onam, pookanam, what you will peel off the petals only. What you are taking out is only the peripheral floret only. Central one is there, that is a disc floret. This is, both are actually flowers. So number of flowers, each flower is known as what? Floret. So this is the disc or capitulum, head or capitulum. Understood? Okay. So main axis flattened. There are two types of head, homogamous head and heterogamous head. Homogamous means what? Only single kind, only ray floret or disc floret. Vernonia is an example. Vernonia puvangurundale. Heterogamous means both the condition, that is ray floret and disc floret. Tridax is there, helianthus, sunflower is there. They are all example for heterogamous head. So main axis flattened, there is only one type, head or capitulum. Two types are there, homogamous head or heterogamous. What is the character of head? Head is having small flowers known as florets, peripheral flowers and central flower. Peripheral flowers are ray floret, central one is disc floret. Sometimes there is only one type, then that head is known as homogamous head. If two florets are present, that is heterogamous head. So you have to study how to differentiate both of them with the examples. Okay, I hope you clearly understood. So what we studied today, what is inflorescence, what are the different types, racemose, cymose, mixed and special. So we are now studying the first type, racemose. Under racemose again there are main axis elongated, main axis shortened, main axis flattened. Main axis elongated, simple raceme, branched raceme or panicle, spike, compound spike, simple spike, spadix. Okay. Then main axis shortened, corymb and umbel. Means corymb, all pedicels, lower flower having long, upper short, so everything in same line. Umbel, what is? Main axis shortened, so all look like appear at one side, every flower in the top. So a globular type appearance. Like number of simple umbels together, that's known as compound umbel. Then you have to study main axis flattened, example is head or capitulum. Homogamous head and heterogamous head. So this is usually asking for examination. Describe different types of racemose inflorescence. Differentiate corymb and umbel. Differentiate panicle and spike. What is the features of spadix? So many questions may arise from this part. This is very important for examination.